Okay, and we should be live, just waiting for the stream to show up. Live stream offline starting. Right, whilst we're waiting for that, let's just send out a quick tweet, grab the share link. Okay, alright, I'll send out that tweet. Okay, so this is part number 7, I believe, of rebuilding WaniKani with Tailwind CSS. I'm just going to check what part it is. I'm sure it must be... No, it's 7. I'm not going to check what part it is. Okay, so where we left off last time, we built the... what did we call this? See, I'm so prepared. So that was the second part of the progression section, which is these progress bars. Something we actually missed off, I just want to point out. I couldn't see it last time because if you've watched the streams, you'll know my progress bars were empty at the time. But looking at the progress bars now with a week's extra progress, we also have these little percentage indicators. I'm not going to focus on them today, but I just thought I'd mention that they are something that I did miss out last time. So today we are going to be focusing on this section, which was referred to in their CSS, in WaniKani's HTML structure, as being kotobar table lists, kotobar meaning word. So you have these 3 different tables, and what they consist of is new unlocks within the last 30 days, which is pretty much what it sounds like. It's new things that you have unlocked through your progression over the course of the past 30 days. You have critical condition items, which are things that you've been tested on a few times and maybe not gotten correct too many times. You can see my worst one, I've only gotten correct 53% of the time. And there we go. And we also have these burned items in the last 30 days, which is items that you have been deemed to have learned sufficiently that you don't need to study them again. So it's fairly straightforward layout here. What we have is 3 columns, grey header and footer. And this footer is also a link that shows more. It takes you to a page that shows more as a full screen version of that. You have a gradient in the background of each of these rows, the colour of which depends on what type of item you have in there. So we'll have a blue one, we'll have a pink one, and we'll have a purple one. Can't see the blue one at the moment because I don't have anything showing up in there. Let's see what we've got in. No, I won't have it in. I'm trying to find an example of what the blue one will look like. It's basically the same-ish kind of gradient as this this blue progress bar. But I've got... Oh, here we go. So this is what the blue one will look like. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You've got the character itself on the left-hand side of the table. You've got the date or the percentage or the date of unlock, the percentage that you've gotten it right, or the date that you burned it, column structure. So if I create the div that will initially contain everything, I believe that I have been using, alright, so container mx auto for everything so far. So there we go, and same here. So that will create a container, and then we got this div class. So I'm just going to create 3 divs with 1/3 width to begin with. And so I can differentiate between them. Let's just copy text from each of these and stick them in the divs. The first thing I know will absolutely happen when I load it up is that these will be too close together. There's not this padding or this margin or whatever they're using in between them, so the spacing is going to be completely out of whack. Now, it's not even that because I haven't made this display flex, so it's just loading the divs that I created as if they were normal block divs. There we go. So you can't see the problem with spacing. So maybe the next thing I do is to add some background color to the text. So what grey are we using? We're using for the background color of the progression tables. Background grey light is what we are using. Oh, I'm very sorry. I lowered the font size for my own use not too long ago, and I haven't moved it up, so let's bump the font size on here. Okay, hopefully that's what I was using before, so that should be big enough. Okay. Alright, so we're using this background grey light. I'm going to take it and apply it here. No, that's the wrong place. Alright, so I'm going to apply it here. Here. And I'm going to apply it here. And that will show us how we don't have any appropriate gap. We also don't have any appropriate gap at the top, so that's something we also need to address. But first things first, I'm just going to take a look at how this is actually put together. Okay, so span for. Okay, so this is actually, I think, fairly old Bootstrap. I guess version 2. So span 4, span 4, span 4. And each of these spans has... No, maybe not Bootstrap. Alright, so each of these spans has some is it padding? Or is it margin? So it has 30 pixels margin on the left. So it's roughly that sort of thing that we want to create. I'm just thinking about what would be the best way of creating it so that so everything's even. Right, so we've already got MX auto applied to here. So if we add another div inside, so I'm going to give that minus MX of 30 pixels. 1.875. So that's 1.875 RAM. So let's just make it 2 RAM. That's MX minus MX8. I think that should get us close enough. And then in each of these, I'm going to give them PX4. We'll see where that gets. Nope. What did I do wrong? Aha! I need to move display flex. Okay, so I am okay, so I gave that too much negative margin. So it's offsetting the spacing of that a bit. So that's roughly what we're looking for. So let's see what we've got in terms of the spacing at the top. Alright, so margin. So the item before it has a margin bottom of 30 pixels. So if we do the same, MB8. That was the wrong item. There we go. Alright, so what's next? Actually, I'm just going to check what these are made of. Are they... because it says total bar table list, but are they actually tables or are they something else? H3. So we have a table body. So there is a table, but the header isn't a TH and the footer isn't. Oh, it isn't T head and the footer isn't T footer. Okay. So let's go with the same approach. Let's make all of these divs into H3s and get them styled first. Alright, so what's that looking up for us for now? Okay, so it looks pretty terrible. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do, because it's obvious, is to center the text. Okay, that's one thing. And then I'm also going to sort the border radius at the top. Right, I'm just going to double check the... oh no, it should be just round T, shouldn't it? Yeah, so rounded T full, I believe. Now let's see what we get. No, that was too much. Full was not the right thing. What happens if I just do rounded T? Yeah, that's fine. And so I think the font size we need to match this, don't we? So there's C apprentice kanji left, text XS. And so what color is this? D5. Right, so let's see what... Let's return to the list of greys. D5, grey light. That was easy. Okay. And let's see what that leads to. That was not as easy as I thought. Something is wrong. It's ended up the same colour as the background colour, so I think I possibly... Yeah, I'd looked at the background colour rather than the colour. Okay, oops. Alright, so 555 is grey darker 2. Oops, wrong thing. Okay. Alright, we're getting there. Okay, next things I think are we've got a combination, I think, of some padding here and some increased line height. So let's do the padding first. Padding 7.5 pixels. So what does that translate to? You know what, I'm going to give this P2 and see what that comes out with. Yeah, I think that pretty much does the job. And then I'm just going to take a punt on the line height. So I'm going to give it this leading normal class and see what we get. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Alright, so final thing here is to get this shadow in place. Text shadow. So I think we've already got this in existence, so main CSS. Yeah, so that's our text shadow 1. Text shadow 1. Refresh this. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, and since they're basically the same thing but with a slightly lighter text and the border radius moved to the bottom, let's do these little footers as well. Right, so color is 888 and this is a div. Okay, so Alright, so let's see what's going on with the color. Alright, so grey dark 3. Alright, so that should be everything on that one. So let's just see what it does. Yeah. Apart from updating the text. I'm making it a div. There we go. The only thing that's wrong now is that it's not bold because it's no longer H3 tags. Text bold, font bold is what we're looking at. And that should sort that. Yeah, there we go. Right. So I'm just going to add a table to this one. Alright, let's take a look how this layout is accomplished. Do we have different cells, or is it no, it's all the same cell. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so TD. I'm just going to create the markup for one item first. So, okay, so alright, so you go in here. Right, so they're using pull right for it. I don't know whether we actually will, but I'm going to float it to the right anyway for now. Just thinking I may end up adopting a flexbox based solution. Okay, so that's not correct. So is it pull right? Ah, never mind. I don't want that anyway. Okay. Right, so I'm going to convert these to divs. No, I'm not going to do that with the table, actually. So what do we get for that? Nothing. Why are you not displaying? The table isn't stretching to full width, is it? That's what's going on here. Alright, so I bet you that's what's going on here. Yeah, true. Okay, so class equals W full. Stretch this out to 100% width. There we go. Right. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this gradient. I want to see what... Okay. Before we do see what's going on in this gradient, there appears to be some amount of border going on here. Maybe not? No, it's not. Okay, so background image. I'm just going to nick this gradient for a sec and see what we've got going on with our gradient. So I think we can probably reuse the gradients that we set up last time for the previous element. I'm just going to give this a go. Right, it would help if I actually included what CSS rule I'm using. Right, and also named it right. Right, so... Alright, I'm just going to see what this gives us. Absolutely nothing, because I'm not compiling it. Okay, so that does give us a gradient. Also has this spacing going on. Alright, so cell spacing, what's the best way of handling that? Okay, so there's nothing really that applies to tables, so I can't set cell spacing there. So I think for now I'm just going to actually set it on the table. No, actually I'm not. It's one of those things I don't really have to deal with this often, so let's figure it out. Let's see whether that helps. No. Alright, in the interest of not being derailed by that, I'm just going to go back to the previous approach for now. Alright, so I think the next thing I'm going to tackle is the color of the text. So this is text white. So this is white with 50% opacity. So let's see what we've got set up at the moment. Do we need that? Yeah, we do. I was just thinking we could have just set it as white and used an opacity on it, but if we've got shadows going on as well, that would make them have 50% opacity. So so that's not appearing the right color because I did not give it the right class name. Now, why is it not appearing the right color? Ah. What did I run before then? I thought I'd run watch. Oh, okay, I ran npm prod before. That's why I only ran once and wasn't actually compiling it for me again. Alright. Nearly there. Okay. It looked like it was stuck on 95% emitting, but no, it had finished. I was just watching it for nothing. Ordinarily, you'd get a notification to say that it's finished compiling, but because I've got all my notifications switched off at the moment, it unfortunately disables those as well. Right, so we've got some padding here that we want to add, and we've got, let's see what is padding, left padding, right. So 14 pixels is the padding left and right in like actual computer terms, and padding top and bottom is about 9.8. Okay. And do we have any line height going on with this? Not really, no. Not in any major way. So, okay, so I'm going to set that's it. going to set it as alright. So that's px3, which is 0.75 rem, and py2, which is 0.5 rem. And I think that pretty much looks the part. Just need to reduce this font size a bit, I think. So it's font size 14 pixels. How does that correspond to what we've got set up? I know there is a 14 pixels font size. Okay, so text small is what we're after. Okay, I'm just going to move this up as well. Alright, what's that give us? Yes, I think we're there. I've only got the text shadow on these to go, which only really seems to exist on hover. So alright, so I'm just going to steal the text shadow and create our own style for it. Alright, I'm actually going to move all of these text shadow styles into variance hover, so we've got just to make it consistent. Okay, so text shadow 4, and then so this actually has two separate shadows going on. Let's move these. Right, there we go. Just gonna give this cursor pointer as well. There we go. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it show 10 in total. So if we create 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then mix up the colors a bit. So blue light, pink, and purple. Yep. Okay. Alright, so that's pretty much everything, I think. Just going to populate them here. I can mix them up some more, but you get the idea. So this one, we want a percentage rather than a date. let's make it 42%. And then the next one we just want a date again. Okay, well I think that's pretty much everything. We've got 3 columns of cultivar table lists. Obviously, in the real world, they would be populated by actual items rather than the same one repeated constantly. But they all work and they all look the part. Just double check if there's anything we're missing. I don't think there is. I think we might have a slightly different gradient actually. Okay. Alright. For now I'm going to stick with what we've got though. Alright, so thank you for watching. I will probably be doing the next stream. I'm aiming to do it tomorrow actually. And we will be covering this section, which is current trending forum topics, and the following section is also this news segment, which is literally just a link to another website. So it's the same style, so we may as well do them at the same time. Alright, so I'll catch you again then. Thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, all the usual YouTube things, which I will keep talking until I find the stop streaming button, which I have. Alright, cheers, goodbye.